Hello. Yesterday I decided to make a video demonstrating how to make your own multi-purpose cleaning spray from white vinegar and lemon juice. It's really good, although now I suppose you don't have to watch it because I've just told you. But if you decide to, I do hope you enjoy it, and due to popular demand I've included the theme tune again this time. And here it is! On a hill
near a wood,
where nobody goes,
up a track,
through a gate, the food forest grows, with secrets and treasures for everyone's pleasure, and Rob's discovery. Hello. What are you doing there? Nice to see you too. Come with me. Oh. Well, it's April, and today is a very special day because it's exactly 2 years since the very first episode of Rob's Discovery. I'd love to have made more than 20 episodes since then, but, well, you know. It's springtime, kind of, for the second time this year. It was winter, then it was summer, then it was winter again, and now it's spring again. And things are really lushing up here in the forest garden, and there are all kinds of really tasty shoots and leaves to eat. This This is one of my favourites, the Siberian pea tree. A good old reliable nitrogen fixer, and has salady edible leaves for about 6 months of the year. Very good for you. And very tasty. I'll see you later. I've been planting loads of seeds in the greenhouse, about 40 different kinds, everything from wild verbascum to saltbush. And there are some perennial sunflowers with edible roots that I'm really looking forward to as well, later in the year. Last year there was a huge mouse problem because the mouse population is quite healthy here, and they were taking all my seeds. So I've tried to outwit them this year by every evening I spray my seed trays with camphor oil solution, which I've got to be careful not to breathe in because it can suppress certain desires, which might be a good thing. That's why camphor oil candles have been used for hundreds of years in monasteries for such purposes. Now is also the traditional time of year for a good old spring clean. The days are longer and drier, ideally. It's a good time for hanging out and airing blankets and beating the dust out of rugs, and the improved quality of light really shows up all those sticky patches that you failed to clean properly throughout the winter. And I like to make my own cleaning spray. I will show you how thoroughly in just a minute, but I prefer to make my own because not only are sprays that you buy expensive, I think they're mostly water. They do an okay job, but I'm quite suspicious of those synthetic fragrances and other things that are in there. So not only is it cheap to make your own, it's fun and often more effective and safer. Sorry, GoPro. I've been doing loads of mulching with straw over the last couple of weeks. Not only is straw cheap and abundant, it's a really good weed suppressant, and as it rots it adds to the texture of the soil. It's just a really good all-round mulch if you haven't got access to loads of compost, which I haven't yet because I've not been doing this enough years to have made my own. Well, not a lot of it anyway. Although straw does harbour quite a few slugs, and if you haven't got a healthy frog population, they can be a problem. Although I have frogs and ducks now to help. Although one of them's poorly actually, need to tend to her in a moment. My brother loves this time of year and he has recorded a special message for me to play to you. So here it is.
When I was a young lady, we used to have naked tea parties in the garden.
Thank you, Thomas. Most informative. Now, I ought to be at work this morning, but I got rained off. And I'm no fair weather gardener, but I have a rule, and that is when my pants get wet, I go home. And that's underpants for you American viewers. But it's just as well really, because one of my poor ducks is poorly, so I need to be here to tend to her really. Hello duckies. Alright girls. Not quite feeding time yet. Go and eat those slugs. Go and forage. Go on. She must be particularly attractive in the duck world, because despite all the drakes having 8 other females to mate with, they've chosen only her. And when so doing, they grab the feathers on the back of her neck, pushing her head down. But it's been so frequent that they've started grabbing the feathers around her eyes. And a few days ago, she couldn't see at all. So I had to isolate her. But I intervened a little bit too late. Oh. Try it on her neck first. Alright, alright, alright. She normally quite likes this. I used to think that chamomile tea was just a relaxing drink to have before bed. And it wasn't until I looked up all the properties of it that I realised it could be used to treat minor skin conditions and eye infections. It's working wonders on this duck. She's now got the sight completely back in this eye on this side. She hasn't opened the other eye yet, so I'm hoping it's still there. But even if not, as sad as that would be, she's still got enough sight to have a good life with the rest of the flock. I've let the tea cool down a lot, I should say, because you don't want to pour hot tea over a duck's head. So that's some tea for her. There's a bit left for my bedtime. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, alright, alright. Pouring a lot over myself as well. Because she's been isolated, she's healing really nicely. But ducks do not do well in isolation. They're flock animals and they need to be with each other. And I think it's detrimental to her to keep her separated for much longer. She's been able to hear the other ducks and see them through the wire, but she needs to join the rest. But my concern is that the drakes are going to pile on her the moment she rejoins them, because she's still a beauty. But I have it on good authority that using Vicks vapor rub or something else similar with was it eucalyptus and camphor oil it has in it, that makes her unattractive to the drakes. So I'm going to smear a little bit on her back, not on the raw skin. Well, it's not raw anymore, it's scabbed over nicely. Smear it a little bit on her back, and and release her now and see if the drakes ignore her or not. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, look at that. I know it smells, well, probably horrible to you, but I quite like it actually. I quite like it. Oh, I know. Just a little bit on your neck, a little bit on the feathers. Alright. Good girl. Good girl. You'll probably wash this off straight away, won't you, in the pond? She wants to rejoin the rest. They're calling her. I think those are quite lustful calls though from the drakes. Oh, here we go. Good girl. Oh. Yeah, straight back on her again. That's not good. Well, the Vicks didn't work. They were right back on her again. So now she's safely isolated in the main run, and she's looking for a way to get back into her little pen where she's been for the last few days. Look at those lustful drakes waiting to get her again. Right, time to actually make some cleaning spray. Finally, I am going to show you how to make two different sorts. One is a simple one and one's a more fancy one. We shall start with the simple one. Right, white vinegar and lemon juice. That's it. Well, I'll mix them together to show you how it's done. I've actually bought this sprayer from the pound shop, but by a neat little coincidence, lots of commercially bought shop sprayers, if you take the top off, they actually fit in these vinegar bottles and the top screws on like that. So you already have a vinegar spray, but it's lacking potency, so it needs a little bit of lemon juice. I'm sure you've seen someone squeeze a lemon before, even if you haven't yourself. Half a lemon. I'm squeezing it into a measuring jug because my citrus juicer, my glass one, has gone missing. If you have one of those spiky lemon juicers, then you can invert the half lemon and juice it upside down, so to speak. So getting a lot of the rind and the skin in there, which has lots of antibacterial properties, even more so than the juice. So it'd be good to get some of that in there as well if you can. Slippery. I always save the skin and use it for other things like making drinks and baking and that sort of thing. So the juice of half a lemon in a half-litre bottle, and top it up with white vinegar. Excellent. That's simple spray number one. I wouldn't recommend using either of these on any marble worktops because both lemon juice and vinegar can dissolve marble, so I have learned the hard way, but we won't talk about that. Right, now the second slightly more effective spray. For that you will need a whole lemon, some castile soap, just a teaspoonful or a dash, depending if you like to measure things or not. I've got a foot in both camps. I like to measure things and also like to guess. A sprig of fresh thyme, more white vinegar, some water, and although not essential, some essential oil drops. I'm not sure what to use yet. Lavender, that's as good as any. Antibacterial, smells good, so when you clean your bathroom it won't smell like a giant pickle or whatever. This method, although simple and quick, does require more than just a sprig of thyme. It requires 2 weeks' time for the ingredients to steep and infuse in this jar. This is an old instant coffee jar. Well, it smells like beetroot. Oh yeah, that's because I had loads of beetroot last year, and yeah, this was one of the jars in which I pickled it. So, white vinegar into the jar. Again, this is a 1 litre jar, so about a litre of white vinegar, though it doesn't have to be exact. I won't fill it right to the top because we need to save room for the lemon that's going to go in. A lemon, fresh from the greenhouse. On this occasion, it can be a supermarket lemon. I normally chop the lemon into rings, like I'm going to plop it into a drink. Oh, that scent is divine. Plop. Plop. Lemon. And the thyme. In it goes. Lid on. Give it a little shake if you like. So the lemon, thyme and vinegar sit somewhere nice and warm for about 2 weeks. Assuming it's been 2 weeks, out it comes again, and into your spray bottle goes just a dash of castile soap. I'd say about 10 drops of lavender oil. Oh yeah. And then about a 1/5 vinegar lemon thyme solution, and then top it up with 4/5 water. Well, it's now turned out to be a gorgeous afternoon. Still a bit nippy, but all the more reason to go and do some cleaning, finally. Nothing like a good clean toilet. I should also say at this point that if you're using lemon juicy sprays anywhere where there is bleach, then it can be a little bit risky because the lemon juice and bleach can react and make a chlorine gas, which wouldn't be that good to breathe in. Oh, next time I'm going to be answering some of your questions about forest gardening and my lifestyle and permaculture type things. So if you have any more questions, then I suppose you could ask a question in the comments of this video, or I have a Facebook page called Rob's Forest Garden, so you can ask there. I like questions. So, a good day to you all. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, bye. Hello again. It's now 1 week later. The lemon and thyme is steeping beautifully in the white vinegar. The poorly duck is making a fantastic recovery and has joined the rest of the flock. And the drakes have been temporarily isolated, much to their dismay. They're not quite sure why it's happening, but it's not for long. Bye!